All right, let's break this down. Today, we're taking a deep dive into Damon Zahariades' incredibly insightful book, The Art of Saying and No. Our mission, really, it's to arm you with the tools you need to, stand your ground, reclaim your precious time and energy.
Yeah, get that back.
Exactly. And refuse to be taken for granted, all without that nagging, dreadful feeling of guilt that usually comes with it.
That guilt is a big one.
It really is. So tell me, have you ever found yourself just stretched thin, completely overwhelmed by everyone else's demands,
Oh, definitely.
and struggling, like really struggling, to just say that tiny word no without instantly regretting it?
That immediate regret.
Do you find yourself internally cringing at the thought of disappointing someone? If that sounds uncomfortably familiar, well, today we are diving into the exact strategies you need to change that whole narrative.
And what's truly illuminating here is Zahariades' fundamental insight. He says the ability to say no is profoundly liberating.
It's liberating, yeah.
But it's often incredibly difficult because it requires, as he puts it, undoing years of practice.
Wow.
Years.
And for many of us, a lifetime of indoctrination.
Mm.
Think of the classic oxygen mask analogy from airline safety briefings.
Oh, yeah. Put yours on first.
Exactly. You must secure your own mask first before you can really help others. And that principle applies directly to your time and energy. You just can't pour from an empty cup.
That's a great way to put it.
And, it's really crucial to clarify what assertiveness actually means here.
Right, because people mix it up with being aggressive.
They do. Assertiveness, as the source explains, is a learned skill. It's about confidently communicating your position, but with respect.
Okay.
Knowing your boundaries and expressing them clearly. Like, politely asking someone in a movie theater who's talking loudly to maybe lower their voice.
Right, a reasonable request.
Or calmly explaining to a barista, hey, I think my drink wasn't quite made right.
Aggressiveness, on the other hand, that's belligerent. It's often impulsive, like demanding silence or berating that same barista.
Yeah, totally different energy.
Completely.
Mm-hmm.
The goal here is to say no with grace, right? Avoiding that lashing out. That just leads to guilt and makes things worse.
Okay, so let's pull back the curtain a bit on this people-pleasing habit and its impact. Zahariades paints a really vivid picture of the typical people pleaser. Someone always ready to lend a hand, maybe abandoning their own stuff, their own needs, just to cater to others. It sounds noble, right? But the author shows the real cost.
He absolutely does, and it's quite relatable because he shares his own story. He calls himself a recovering people pleaser.
Huh, recovering. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He talks about college, how owning a pickup truck basically made him the default moving guy for all his friends.
Oh, no, I know that guy.
Right. He'd sacrificed his own time, his interests, and it just led to this deep resentment and, frankly, misery.
I can imagine.
But what's really insightful is that his first reaction, once he saw the problem, was his knee-jerk thing where he just started saying no to everything.
No, overcorrection.
Exactly. Which he later regretted. And that just highlights the need for a more, thoughtful, balanced approach, not just swinging wildly from one extreme to the other.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting, especially if you're someone listening who often puts others first. Why is prioritizing your own needs so incredibly crucial? I mean, beyond just avoiding feeling miserable, what are the bigger consequences?
Well, connecting back to that oxygen mask idea, nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to protect your time or prioritize your needs as fiercely as you will, or as you should.
That's true.
Constantly catering to others while ignoring yourself. That's just a direct path to resentment, bitterness, and, as the author points out from his own life, even health issues, stress-related stuff.
Actual health issues.
Yeah. Prioritizing yourself first, it actually gives you the freedom, the space, to help others when you genuinely have the time, the energy, and, crucially, the desire to do so.
Instead of feeling obligated.
Exactly. It's about sustainable generosity, not just burning yourself out.
Okay, so that brings us to the big why. Why do we struggle so much? It's fascinating, this tiny two-letter word, no. Why does it carry such immense weight for us? What's going on psychologically?
Well, there are several layers to it. Some reasons are pretty obvious, others are more subtle, but they're all deeply ingrained.
Yeah.
First, there's the big one, avoiding offending or disappointing people. We just don't want to let people down.
Yeah, that feels awful.
It does. But here's the crucial thing to grasp. When someone does take offense or feel disappointed, it often stems from their insecurities or maybe unrealistic expectations, not necessarily your actions.
That's a shift in perspective.
Right, provided you're courteous, you're not actually responsible for their emotional reaction. And realizing that can lift a huge weight.
Okay, what else?
Second, we worry about seeming selfish. That's a big fear.
Definitely. Nobody wants to be seen as selfish.
But think about it this way. Every single yes you give to someone else is effectively a no to something else.
Yeah.
Often it's a no to your own self-care, maybe your family time, your studies, your own important goals. And self-care, that's a necessity. It's not selfish.
It's fuel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's what keeps you from becoming irritated, cynical, just plain miserable. It's the foundation for being able to help anyone effectively.
Makes sense. What's number 3?
Third, there's this powerful desire we have to help others, or maybe to appear valuable, or, let's be honest, just to be liked.
The validation trap.
Totally. There's an almost addictive feeling that comes from being helpful. You know, being the white knight or the go-to expert. Helping is great, it's honorable, but doing it for the wrong reasons.
Like seeking approval.
Yeah, or compensating for something you feel you lack that leads you to constantly ignore your own limited resources, time, energy, focus.
Yeah.
The surprising thing is, learning to say no with purpose and poise. It can actually improve your status. It can gain you more respect, not less. People respect boundaries.
Interesting. Okay, what else is stopping us?
Fourth, FOMO, fear of missing out.
Oh yeah, FOMO is real.
It really is. That nagging feeling that everyone else is doing something amazing without you, it drives us to say yes to opportunities, new work projects, social events, even when we're already stretched thin.
And maybe the opportunity isn't even that great.
Exactly. It might be inconsequential. So the question becomes, what are you actually missing out on by saying yes to everything? Saying no to some things frees you up to say a wholehearted yes to the truly rewarding ones, the ones that really matter to you.
Good point. Is there more?
Fifth, just the basic aversion to conflict. Nobody likes confrontation.
Definitely not.
And sometimes this blends into succumbing to, well, emotional bullying.
Ooh, what does that look like?
Tactics like yelling, threats, maybe humiliation, things designed to make you so uncomfortable you just give in. The key is recognizing it as manipulation. They know what they're doing. And that awareness, it helps you stay resolute, take the high road, and understand their behavior reflects their issues, not the validity of your no.
All right, it's not about you.
Exactly. And finally, there's just the people-pleasing habit itself. Saying yes becomes this ingrained habit, a learned behavior.
From childhood, maybe.
Often reinforced from childhood, yeah. Gaining approval, fitting in. But the good news is, like any habit, it can be unlearnned. It starts with small steps, like just pausing for a second before you instinctively say yes. Asking yourself, are my reasons for saying yes solid, or are they kind of trivial, just based on habit or fear?
That pause seems really important. The book even mentions a pop quiz element, right? Not like we're doing a quiz now, but more to illustrate self-reflection. Highlighting those behaviors like never speaking your mind, being terrified of conflict, letting boundaries get trampled, needing to be liked all the time, or that immediate dread when you even think about saying no.
Yeah, those are all red flags.
So putting it all together, what Zahariades helps us see is that understanding why we say yes is that crucial first step. Only then can we start confidently saying no.
Absolutely. And that brings us nicely to the practical toolkit. How do we actually do it? How do we overcome that guilt, that fear, that shame? This part is all about making the best decision for your circumstances.
Right. Now that we get the why, let's arm you with the how. The author gives us some really practical ways to deliver that no gracefully. Let's walk through some key strategies, maybe with some examples.
Sounds good.
Okay, strategy #1. Be direct and straightforward. So avoid those vague answers like, maybe.
Yeah, the waffle.
Exactly. Waffling just invites more pressure, makes you look indecisive. Instead, be clear. Offer a concise, honest reason. Like, sorry, I don't have time to help right now because I'm working on this crucial report and it's due in 2 hours.
Simple, direct, honest.
Boom.
Done.
And that leads right into the next one, which is about maintaining that clarity. Exactly. Strategy #2. Don't stall for time. If you know the answer is no, just say it. Don't do the whole, oh, can I get back to you thing.
Because that just strings them along.
Yeah, it makes you seem indecisive, and it just drags out an uncomfortable situation. Why do you think we're so tempted to stall like that?
Oh, it's pure avoidance, isn't it? We want to avoid that immediate discomfort of saying no. But it's totally counterproductive because that hesitation, it signals to the person asking that maybe your no isn't firm. it actually invites them to push harder.
Ah, I hadn't thought of that.
Plus, if you keep saying, I'll get back to you, and then you don't, or you come back with a weak no, it erodes trust. Directness, but always courteous, is usually the best way.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Next up, strategy #3. Replace no with another word. Apparently, the word no itself can be hard for people to hear.
They can feel blunt sometimes.
So using softer phrasing can help. Like, I can't commit to that right now because I'm really focused on this high priority project.
Or even, I'd really like to help you, but I'm just swamped with this other thing right now. Still clear, but maybe lands a bit softer.
Right. And then the author links these next two strategies, which seem really important. Strategy #4, resist the urge to offer excuses, and strategy #5, take ownership of your decision.
Yes, these are crucial.
This is vital. Don't lie. Don't make up excuses like, oh, my car's in the shop if it isn't.
Because that leads to guilt for you.
Totally. And you look untrustworthy if you get caught out.
Right. And instead of saying, I can't, which kind of sounds like something outside your control is stopping you.
Like an external limitation.
Yeah. Take ownership, use I don't want to, or I won't.
Ooh, that sounds bold. I won't.
It does sound bold, maybe even a bit scary at first. But it affirms your personal choice. It really builds your own sense of authority over your time and decisions.
It's transformative, isn't it, when you own it like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It shifts it from being just a reaction to being a conscious choice.
Yeah.
That's empowering for you, first and foremost.
Okay. Moving on. Strategy #. Ask the requester to follow up later. Now, this isn't the stalling we talked about earlier, right?
No, this is different. This is genuine. It's when you might be able to help, just not right now.
Got it. So you could say, look, I don't have time to help you right now, but check back with me after 4 p.m. Things might be less crazy then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And often what happens is the person finds another solution in the meantime.
Or they realize they can handle it themselves.
Yeah, it resolves itself, which is a surprising little benefit sometimes.
Okay, next we've got strategy #8. Offer an alternative, and combine with that, strategy #9. Suggest another person who's better qualified. The idea is not to just leave them empty-handed.
Right. Soften the no by being helpful in a different way.
So you could offer partial help, like, okay, I can do the PowerPoint slides for you, but I really don't have the bandwidth to manage the test team too.
Or you could refer them. You know who might be good for that? Tony. I think he has some downtime, and he's actually great at that kind of thing.
That helps them out, and it makes your no feel less like a flat rejection and more like helpful redirection.
Precisely.
And then the last one on this core list, strategy, #10. Describe your lack of bandwidth.
This one feels powerful because it's about showing your genuine limitations.
Yeah, painting a clear picture.
You actually detail your busy schedule. Like, look, today I have 2 big projects due, 3 meetings back to back, a conference call. I literally don't have a spare minute to help you move.
It leaves very little room for negotiation, doesn't it? Because they can see you're genuinely swamped, not just unwilling.
Right. It's hard to argue with that.
And the source also throws in some excellent bonus strategies, kind of extra tools for your toolkit.
Ooh, bonus round. Okay.
Bonus #1, be resolute. Because people will push back sometimes.
Especially if they're used to you saying yes.
Exactly. So you might need to acknowledge their pushiness, but firmly reiterate your decision. Something like, Sharon, I understand you don't like hearing no, but I'm not going to change my mind on this. Consistency is really key.
Stand your ground politely. Yes. Which leads to bonus #2. Be courteous. Always try to maintain politeness, even if the person asking is being rude or pushy.
Keep your side of the street clean.
Pretty much. It manages how others see you, and it shows you're the one in control of your emotions. Even a simple, thanks for asking me to help, I appreciate you thinking of me, can soften the refusal.
Nice touch. What else?
Bonus #3. Confront your fear of missing out. FOMO. This is more internal work. Actively ask yourself, am I saying yes because this is truly good for me, or just because I'm anxious about missing out?
Pausing again.
Yeah, train yourself to pause and really consider the concealed costs, as the author calls them.
Concealed costs, meaning what you're sacrificing.
Exactly. The hidden sacrifices your energy, progress on your own goals, maybe just your peace of mind.
Okay. And the last bonus.
Bonus #4. Say no by category. This is brilliant for recurring requests.
Ah, like the moving truck example earlier.
Precisely. If you keep getting asked for the same type of thing, moving, help, accounting advice, TET study, whatever it is, just decide to reject the entire category.
Like a policy.
Exactly. It sets clear expectations. You could just state it simply, oh, thanks for asking, but I don't help people move anymore. Or I actually have a policy now where I don't do pet sitting.
That takes the personal sting out of it.
It does. It frames it as a general rule, not a rejection of them. It's a real game changer for those common draining requests.
Okay, this is all great stuff. We've covered the why it's hard and the general how with these strategies. But let's unpack this further. How do these actually apply to the different people in our lives? Because, saying no to your boss feels very different from saying no to your kid, right?
That's an excellent point. It's not one size fits all.
Yeah.
So how do we navigate these tricky personal dynamics while still holding on to our boundaries?
Yeah.
Well, let's take extended family. They could be tough negotiators, can't they? Often with high expectations because of those emotional ties.
Definitely. Guilt trips might happen.
They might. So, strategies here include creating clear rules about what you will and won't help with. Maybe it's no errands during the week, or sorry, I don't do car repairs anymore.
Setting it up front.
Yeah. And you can also force messages sometimes. That means deliberately delaying responses to non-urgent requests. Let calls go to voicemail, reply to texts or emails later. It resets their expectation that you're always immediately available. It's not rude, it's boundary setting.
Okay. How about your spouse or partner? That seems delicate.
It can be, but the author argues that saying no appropriately can actually add value to the relationship.
Really?
By establishing clear, well-defined boundaries, when you act according to your genuine convictions, like saying, honey, as you know, I really hate working on cars, so I'm not going to help with that, or
Yeah.
those kinds of concerts just aren't my thing, I'd rather sit this one out, you actually strengthen mutual respect.
Because you're being authentic.
Exactly. It's about authentic partnership, not just constant, sometimes resentful compromise.
Makes sense. Okay, what about children? They're masters of manipulation sometimes.
Uh-huh. They learn quick, don't they? So with kids, no really has to mean no. Consistency is everything.
Right.
It's vital to distinguish between, say, a fair negotiation, okay, if I finish all my chores, then can I spend the night at my friend's, versus unfair tactics like threats or tantrums.
So entertain the positive arrangements, not the manipulation?
Precisely. And just consistently reinforce those boundaries.
Okay. Friends, this can be tough too because there's an expectation of favors, of loyalty.
Yeah, friends often expect you to bend over backwards sometimes. The key here is not to wait until you're already feeling resentful before you say no.
Be proactive.
Yeah, set boundaries early. Discuss your limits, your convictions, honestly. A true friend, the author argues, will understand and respect them. If they don't, well, that tells you something important about the friendship itself.
Good point. What about neighbors? You see them all the time. Got to keep things pleasant.
Exactly. That frequent contact makes clear boundaries essential. Proactively state what you will and won't do. Use that say no by category idea, perhaps. Oh, I simply don't do pet care anymore.
Gets it out there.
It helps align their expectations with your actual willingness, avoiding awkwardness down the road.
Okay, the workplace. Coworkers and your boss. This feels high stakes.
It can be. Here you can really leverage strategies like asking them to follow up later, or suggesting a colleague who might be better qualified or have more time.
Buying yourself time or redirecting.
Right. When it's your boss, though, you generally need to be more direct, but also strategic. Be forthright about your current workload. Explain why adding this new task might mean you can't do a good job on it, or on your existing tasks.
Show the impact.
Yes. Ask clarifying questions about the new project. And maybe suggest alternatives, like reprioritizing your existing work, or perhaps postponing this new request until you have capacity. The goal is to communicate your limitations clearly, professionally, and offer solutions, not just a flat no, which can be hard for a boss to hear.
Okay. And clients. Fear of losing business must be huge here.
It is a major factor.
Yeah.
But this is also where true professionalism can shine. Provide legitimate reasons if you have to say no. Maybe you lack the specific resources or skills, or you have pre-planned vacation.
Be honest.
Be honest. And always try to offer alternatives. Maybe you refer them to someone else you trust, or suggest a different deadline if that's feasible. This shows you're professional, you value their business, but you also have boundaries. Over time, that can actually earn more respect.
Interesting. Last category. Strangers. Like panhandlers or someone asking for a favor on the street.
Here it really comes down to defining your personal obligations and convictions beforehand. What are your rules for engaging with strangers' requests?
So decide ahead of time.
Yeah, don't be afraid to state discomfort if it's relevant, like I'm actually uncomfortable watching your bag because I might be liable if something happens. Or just use that say no by category rule. Sorry, I have a personal rule that I don't give rides to strangers. It keeps you safe and keeps your boundaries clear, without needing a long explanation.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered saying no to pretty much everyone else.
But there's one more person, perhaps the most important one,
Who's that?
yourself.
Ah, okay.
What's truly fascinating, and maybe the most crucial application of this whole skill, is learning to say no to yourself. Resisting those temptations.
Like the extra donut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The donuts, skipping the gym, impulse buys, getting sucked into gossip, binge-watching Netflix when you know you should be working on that important goal.
Uh-huh. Been there.
Saying no to those impulses is absolutely key to staying focused and actually building the life you want. It's the ultimate form of self-discipline.
Okay, this is where it gets really powerful, but also maybe deceptively simple. The book talks about using I don't statements.
Yes, these are incredibly effective.
So instead of saying, oh, I can't eat donuts, which feels like deprivation, right?
Right, like you're missing out.
You just declare, I don't eat donuts, period. Or instead of, I really shouldn't skip the gym, you state, I don't skip visits to the gym.
It's a statement of identity almost.
Yeah, and you can apply it to anything. I don't spend money frivolously. I don't gossip. I don't dawdle when there's work I need to do. It's that shift from can't or shouldn't to affirm don't or won't.
It really reframes it. These declarative statements, as the author puts it, help you become the architect of a life built upon healthy intentions.
Instead of be.
Instead of being, well, a slave to your impulses and that constant pull of short-term gratification. And that raises a really important question for you, the listener. Are you actively shaping your life with these kinds of conscious no's to yourself? Or are you kind of passively letting things happen, dictated by external demands or just internal whims?
That's deep. Okay, so putting this all together, what's the big takeaway? Mastering this art of saying no. It really empowers us, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The benefits are profound.
You reclaim that precious time and energy we talked about. You massively reduce that awful, persistent guilt. And counterintuitively, maybe, you actually gain more respect from others.
It's true, and it really is like building a muscle. It might feel awkward and shaky at first.
Oh, yeah. But it absolutely gets easier, stronger, more natural the more you practice it.
So the core principles to remember are:
Number one, you are not responsible for other people's reactions as long as you're being courteous and sincere. Let that sink in.
That's freeing.
It is. Number two, your time, your interests, your opinions, your goals, they are just as valuable as anyone else's. Period.
Believe that.
And finally, saying no doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you selfish in the negative sense. It simply means you're consciously managing your life, your competing interests, your limited resources. It means you value yourself enough to create space for what truly matters to you.
Wow. Okay, so here's a final thought for you to chew on.
Yeah.
As you start practicing these small no's, maybe in really low-risk situations like maybe just declining that extra dessert tonight or saying no to that social thing you're not really feeling.
Start small. Yeah, start small. But as you do, consider this. How much control over your own life, your own time, your own energy have you unknowingly given away over the years just by defaulting to yes? And more importantly, what will you do with all that reclaimed time and energy when you finally, consistently stand your ground and become the true architect of your own life?